We know from Dr. Ben Carson that potentially some of the names that might be on the VP list for Trump.
Sure. He would be a reassuring and very rational choice for Donald Trump. The reason being that foreign policy is the one area where there is significant concern, even among those who support him within the party, at his capacity to handle the job, certainly having never before really dealt with it. So when you have the Senate chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, and by the way, Joe Biden was the Senate Foreign Relations Committee chair when Barack Obama tapped him, and the same concern existed there, he would be a very rational choice and a reassuring one, as I mentioned, because it would show that Trump is taking very seriously the idea that foreign policy needs to be much better developed and thought out. On economy, immigration, other issues where Trump is strong, he doesn't need a vice presidential pick to reinforce his bona fides on those.
Yeah, but what's interesting, though, is that they're both businessmen.
Yeah.
Right? They both are very successful in that category. So they do come together on some of those points.
And a little bit of a head fake, right? Because Donald Trump did say, I want someone from inside. I don't need another businessman like myself. There is some potential that this is really just a legitimate policy meeting. It's certainly good for Donald Trump to get briefings from people in the know. But I think Corker would be a very wise person to at least keep on that short list.
Yeah, I like the way you put it, a head fake. We'll have to see what happens. All right, now let's continue to kind of unpack some of the news that's being made today. There's a brand new web ad that Donald Trump has taken, or I should say supporters of Donald Trump have put together. I want you to take a look at it because it really sticks it to Bill Clinton, which is the person who his wife is really floating out there to lead her economic policies. Let's watch.
Right.
I was very nervous. No woman should be subjected to it. It was an assault.
He starts to bite on my top lip, and I try to pull away from him.
I saw your eyes get really wide. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm an ad maker, Harris, and when you have the voices of the victims of Bill Clinton's alleged sexual assaults in an ad, I think that's extraordinarily powerful and very hard not to feel the impact of. So look, the Clinton campaign, or at least their super PACs, have come out this last week with essentially ads showing Donald Trump speaking in a derogatory way, a bombastic way about women. Well, these are women, 3 of which we know made real serious allegations against Bill Clinton based on sexual misconduct, and this is their voices reminding people again in a new environment that this is what you get when you get with the Clintons. You get a lot of that drama, a lot of the salacious scandal, and people make the mistake to think he survived it in 1998, so he'll survive it today. There's much less tolerance, I think, even among millennials today, for men behaving badly against women. And the more this rises, I think the more negative it paints a picture of the Clintons in the modern electoral environment.
Well, when you have a feminist movement that's part of, if you will, some of the establishment in one of the political parties, it's also less tolerated that women on women negatively would be the case. I mean, women aren't going to put up with that either. So this looks bad for both Hillary and Bill Clinton.
You're absolutely right, Harris. And if you even look at some of the exit polling we've gotten from some of the states in the primary, Bernie Sanders in some states is actually beating Hillary Clinton in certain demographics of women, particularly women under 40. So this is going to be a problem Hillary carries with her into the election. And it's really their own doing because they picked this fight with Donald Trump first, suggesting that what he says about women disqualifies him. And he's saying, well, what Bill Clinton has done to women could disqualify you.
Before I let you go, you saw that real clear average of all the polling, and it's putting them neck and neck as presumptive nominees of their parties, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. How do you explain how much tighter that is now, and it's only May? We typically don't even look at that sort of thing until it's closer.
You're exactly right, and trajectory is really what I'm looking for, which is the direction of these polls. And what we're seeing from time and time is Donald Trump gains the more he campaigns, and Hillary Clinton loses the more she's exposed. So this is a very big problem for her going forward. Now, consolidation behind Trump is a big part of this. 57% in one of these polls of Republicans say they're now backing Trump solely for the reason that Hillary's the Democratic nominee. But Hillary had Bernie Sanders in this race a month ago when she was beating Donald Trump by 11 points. The other reason, it's not just because she's in this Bernie Sanders fight, the other reason she's dropping is her unfavorability goes up the longer she has, obviously, this fight to take on, not only with Bernie, but she's picking one with Donald Trump now, too, and losing.
And Donald Trump wins when it comes to men in polling.
Overwhelmingly.
And if she starts to lose some of the women based on some of the ads that we're seeing, like this brutal one today, I mean, the language of using the actual women who allege these things happened for her husband, that starts to tick away at the other category, women.
And also independent voters. Donald Trump, believe it or not, is absolutely racking up double-digit leads in most of these polls.
Why do you say believe it or not? You
because the convention conventional wisdom has always been that he's such an unacceptable candidate that he plays to this very narrow part of the Republican primary base, and he's disproving it. And the problem for Hillary is Donald Trump started this race with very high negatives among Republicans. He won that nomination. Hillary Clinton started this race with very high positive among Democrats. Now she's underwater, even among Bernie Sanders voters, when it comes to unfavorability. Again, trajectory, Harris, going in the wrong direction for her.
Good to see you always. Tony Sayegh.
Thank you.